I love a good sports analogy, right, Josh? So, transfer portal is new to college football. New to college football last couple of years. And everybody just goes out in the open and goes, yep, I am willing to talk to somebody else about what they have to offer, how their team runs, what their university, can do for me. And I really wish we could be that way in real estate. It's unbelievably cloak and dagger and hush hush. And there's been some bad actors that don't respond positively when an agent decides to change team. And so it feels like it has to be kind of hush hush and quiet. So we're going into the time of year where agents start thinking about making a change. Changes typically happen in real estate because their business slows down. And so either they think their business is slowing down because of where they are, or their business is slowing down just due to the seasonality of our industry. There are less transactions during the fourth quarter and the first quarter of the year instead of the second and the third. Being slower makes people just start evaluating things. Absolutely, I want all the best agents and everybody who's got a growth mindset and everybody who's humble, hungry, and smart and wants to be the best version of themselves. Like, I want everybody here to be at ARC, but I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and not everybody likes to grocery shop at the same place. Some people like Publix, some people like Whole Foods, some people like Kroger or Walmart. Like, people just have different preferences. And at least in real estate, you've got different options as to who you want to partner with and who you think can help you grow your business. Yes, it stings a little bit when they don't choose me, but I'm a big girl. I can get over it and move on. And at the end of the day, I want them to be happy and to be, the best version of themselves. So if you're thinking about making a change, first of all, there's no magic real estate process. Everybody likes to run their business the way they like to run their business, and you want to partner with the brokerage that you feel is going to help you run your business the way you want to run your business.
Well, actually, this reminds me of something Thad said was like, if you don't have the good habits at your current brokerage, it's not going to magically, you're not going to magically become a new agent at a new brokerage.
Yeah.
Is this even a healthy thing to be thinking about at this time of year?
Yeah. And, the grass is greener where you water it, and just because it appears to be something over there doesn't mean it's going to work the same way for you and how you like to operate. I don't think it hurts to listen and to have a conversation. If anything, it can solidify that you're right where you need to be, or to come back and ask questions to explore, hey, I liked what they had to say. There's nothing wrong with that. It gets scary when you get a phone call from an agent on the broker side that goes, hey, are you going to be in the office today? We need to talk. That's always a phone call when that happens, but you got to be brave and be willing to know that people are going to go talk. That you can't control them and you can't make them do what they need to do to be successful. And if they feel they're going to be successful somewhere else, it stings sometimes. Absolutely. Especially when you've poured into them and you've done things to invest in that relationship. But at the end of the day, you want what's best for them, right? And if they feel that is better for their business, then okay. It stings. Got to walk for a long time after that one to recalibrate sometimes. But
I guess I meant on the agent side too. Like, is this even this is a healthy thing for them to be thinking about often, or?
In my opinion, before they should go look at the brokerage being the reason they're not wanting to be, they need to look internally first and say, hey, am I not doing something that I need to be doing? What are the things that I know I need to do or I enjoy doing? If you don't enjoy cold calling, then go into a company that, it supports cold calling and will give you a robo-dialer to call all the people. It's not going to fit with the way you want to do business. If you want to build your business with deep relationships and them providing tools or modeling, relationship building behavior, then you want to go with that brokerage. But if you don't want to build a relationship and you're a quantity shop, you're trying to sell as many transactions as possible, then going to a brokerage that's all about relationships and, fewer is better. That's not going to make you happy either. But it's got to start with you identifying, hey, I'm doing everything I need to do to be successful. These are the things I'm enjoying doing. And then does my brokerage help support those activities?
What should agents be looking for in a brokerage beyond the splits, beyond the branding, beyond the hype? Could you distill like the two or three the needle movers of what should actually compel someone to go to another spot?
Well, and maybe not go to another spot, just identify or confirm that they're in the right
Oh,
spot
sure.
too, right?
Yeah,
So
fair.
these are and I kind of already talked on it, but if you're an agent who, you are unbelievably community minded and, going super niche and really deep in, I'll say, the Oak Mountain School District, you have kids going to school there, and having anybody that moves in and out of that school district, you want to be the agent of choice, then building relationships and being highly visible in that area could potentially be things that you want to focus on. Once you've identified that, then confirming that the brokerage you're with is supporting you in those activities, or letting them know that you're not feeling supported in those activities, is super, super important as well. And then if they're not able to support you, or you can't get to a place that you agree, then looking for a brokerage partner that will help support you in those activities would be the next step, or the third step after you've talked to your own broker about it. There's been times when, I've had an agent move, and when they came and talked to me, the things that they talked about, I wasn't even aware that we were missing the mark on, and I could have addressed it. I could have absolutely addressed it. And that stings, because we could have fixed, like, it was fixable. Yeah, we could talk about it. And so, give your broker the opportunity to fix something that they're missing, or address something that they're missing, or provide something that they're missing, that you're missing, before your first step is, I'm moving, I'm leaving. Give them the opportunity to address it.
What are some red flags that are easy to ignore but costly down the road when it comes to considering a brokerage?
Of the brokerage models that I have experience working in, a red flag is if you're an agent who needs collaboration and support, and you don't have opportunities to collaborate with other agents that are underneath the same brokerage umbrella as you are. You don't have an opportunity to truly connect with your broker and to brainstorm and hear things. That might be a red flag that broker, that model isn't a collaborative model, but you need that, or are desiring that. On the flip side, if you're an agent that you're really self-sustained and self-supportive, you don't need a lot of collaboration, you like to fly on your own and run solo, then being with a brokerage that offers a lot of that collaboration also is not a red flag, but it might not be for you, and that's okay. I have found that most agents, or a lot of agents, I won't say most, but a lot of agents, they get to a place that they think they can operate on their own, and that they don't need a lot of support and collaboration. And then they either go out on their own, or they go to a model that doesn't have as much support around business building. And they go, whoa, I didn't realize I needed that. And that's nothing wrong with it. So then they gravitate back to not being by themselves. And real estate, probably sales in general, top producer sales in general, it can feel really isolating and really lonely sometimes. And you don't want to do it by yourself. There are things that you want to talk about with other high-performing achievers or high-performing salespeople. And being around those people helps you, share and commiserate sometimes with what's going on. And you've got to have a resource or an outlet to get that.
I feel like a lot of times when someone wants to change jobs, or they want to, obviously in real estate, move brokerages, they feel like they've hit some sort of ceiling or something. Like, how do you even know if you've hit a ceiling or stopped growing? Like, what does that look like? Like, because it's not always, I'm not making as much money as last year. It's not always like so tied to the financial part. I mean, a lot of times it is, but it's not always. Like, what are some like ceiling hitting things to look out for?
You're using the phrase ceiling hitting. I see more as they get burnout, or they get bored. Okay. Like, those are the two things that I see more than anything else. They're either burnout because they're exhausted and they're not, protecting their boundaries. They're not in an environment that encourages rest and recharge, or they don't have solid systems in place to help them feel recharged and in control of their time. And then on the board part, I mean, you heard Thad talk about he got to a place that listing and selling was kind of boring. I got to the same place too many years ago. I was just kind of bored and I wanted something more. And I think those are the two places in real estate we typically see as burnout or boredom. Sometimes they think it's the other one. They get crosswired in their head, which is where a good mentor can come in, where it should be something that you should be able to talk about with your current broker is, I feel a certain kind of way. I think it's burnout or it could be boredom. Can you help me figure out which one it is? And like I said, it goes back to what I said previously is your broker's your partner. Like they should be somebody that you talk to a lot of all of your business ideas. That should be an open door, free-flowing conversation, dialogue between the two of you, because they should be in your corner and helping support you run your business the best way possible.
I love that idea of like, you might think it's that you're hitting a ceiling, but really it's another feeling that is just like misattributed.
Yeah, like being able to systemize things that are repeatable would free up, probably 4 to 5 more hours of your week to do X, Y, and Z things that's fulfilling and giving you joy. And that could be playing golf. It could be mentoring other agents. It could be being at the gym. It could be knitting or playing pickleball. I heard is all the rage right now. So,
or even it could be like working more.
It could also be focusing on like working. Yeah.
But realistically, like that ceiling doesn't exist actually, is what you're kind of saying. Like, because to me, what I'm hearing from you is that like, before you start to think that you're hitting a ceiling, actually get self-aware about why you're actually feeling this tension where you're at.
Yeah. Yes. What you said.
But I think that's huge. It's almost like, that's almost like a red flag that agents should be looking out for is, is it a problem with the brokerage, or is it something else? Is it that a brokerage change is almost like a Band-Aid, if the actual real issue isn't addressed?
Yeah, or knowing what it is that's causing you to feel that way. Like I use the systems as an example. If you're with a brokerage that doesn't have any systems in place or offer any support for some of the administrative tasks, and you're constantly doing those administrative tasks, or constantly having to not do the thing you love to do, work with buyers and sellers because you're having to do the busy work side that supports those sales activity, then moving to another brokerage, which you think is going to solve the problem, but they still don't offer you that support, or you haven't identified that that's what you need in order to not feel the burnout or the boredom, then the new brokerage isn't going to provide that for you either. You're still going to be in the same place, just with new colors and new signage.
Or even if you're not very clear about what is causing that tension inside you, you might pick another place where it's the same problem.
Yeah. And, we're talking about, systems and processes, but sometimes, top performers or high achieving agents, they get to where they realize, when they started selling, they had people to look up to, or they were being paced with agents who were selling more, and their eyes were successful for whatever those success metrics are. But then after a certain time, they realized that now they're performing at the level that they thought was going to be successful for them, but they want to be challenged more. And so looking around and realizing that now they're the agent that everybody's relying on versus them relying on somebody else, they start looking at other options as well. Where can I go where I'm no longer at the top? I'm at the biggest fish. Yeah, I want to move up. I want to be challenged in a different way. And then they start looking at other options too. Yeah.
Like, I feel a lot of people are trying to change their external environments, whether that's like, I want to move to LA, but it's like, you didn't have the work ethic to make content in Sacramento. Why would you all of a sudden become like a movie star in LA just because you're in LA? You know what I mean? Like, when like, what's actually the crux of it all is this stuff happening on the inside.
Yeah, well, and then you've got the other way too. They don't want to be the small fish in the big pond anymore. They want to be the big fish in a smaller pond, and so they move the other direction. because they want to share and give back to agents who want to get to their level too. Like that happens, and that's great. But I hope they've identified that that's what they're missing. That's either causing the boredom or the burnout when they make that move, or they make that move and they still haven't they haven't looked inward yet to see if that's what's needed to whatever causing the rub or the friction that they're feeling. It starts on the inside first. And if that's like if you're at a larger brokerage and you're like, hey, this is too big of a pond and I would rather be a big fish in a smaller pond, check in with your broker. Let them know how you're feeling, because there could be some, expansion market opportunities. There can be some mentorship opportunities that could be offered to you so that you get to scratch that itch and still feel fulfilled with what you're doing without completely having to change to a new brokerage to get that piece solved so that you feel good on the inside.
It's just so funny about like how many issues can be like distilled to just talk about it. Just talk about your feelings.
Yes, communication is important.
just communicate and get self-aware. Is I feel like everything is going back to that. But
my final thoughts on this are, sometimes making a change is absolutely the right move, but talk with the brokerage that you're at. Let them know that you're feeling an itch, you're feeling a rub, or whatever it is that's even making you entertain a switch. Talk to them, have a conversation with them first. Being open and transparent has never gotten anybody in trouble.
that's real.
Yeah.